Alright, today we're going to be working on a Kindle Fire HD. This is pulled out of a 7-inch HD tablet. This is not your first generation Kindle Fire. You can see the first generation does not have 2 ports. This does have 2 ports. So basically, and they are different parts. So if you do need to order parts, make sure that you order it for the HD. The HD port itself, prior to putting on, looks something like this. An original Kindle port is going to look, one second to pull this out. Original Kindle port is going to look like that, and that was the original not HD version. Alright, so this is an HD, just make sure you have an HD. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the Kaftan tape, which is a heat resistant tape, and I got to wrap it around the board. I want to wrap it around this. Basically, I want to cover everything on this side of the charging port and everything on this side. I'm going to be using a heat gun, basically, to loosen the solder on this so I can take this off and put a new port on. So right now I'm just actually wrapping heat tape around here. This will keep these chips from moving around, or when you've got the reflow gun on there, it is blowing heat, but it's also blowing air at a speed, and if you have it up too high and you don't have things covered up, it will blow your little chips around. So if you've ever done this process and then all of a sudden your device doesn't work afterwards, make sure you look at your chips under the microscope. So basically I'm just going around 2 around this way. I'm going to go 1 across this way to kind of cover these chips right here. I am going to do 1 more right there. Okay, so you can see pretty much everything around here is covered except for our port. So now we're going to take flux. I use this as MG chemical flux. You can get this off, just search the internet for MG chemicals. I think you can get it off Amazon. It's about $11 a bottle, or a tube. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that to the back, right back here. I'm going to apply that to the sides here, and then apply that to the side too. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my heat gun right here. It's going to start warming up. I have it set to 470 degrees Celsius. So if you have a digital readout on yours, you can go ahead and turn it to 470 Celsius. For the airspeed, I have it pretty low. It's going to be set to about 3.5 to 4. And you can see that I do have a tip on here. It'll kind of shoot the air in a more, a smaller area instead of putting it all around in the air. And I need it right on the port, so it is good if you have the extra extensions to use them. Turning up the air a little bit. it goes. Alright. So the port is off the board. You can see that's actually a pretty clean, a really good clean pull. I can probably even take the new port and almost just sit it right back down in there. So that's what we're going to do. Normally, you would take a wick, something like this, and clean out these four holes where basically the pegs are on the charger port. It looks like right now that I should be able to use, the holes are big enough for me to just put it right in there. So let's see if that works before I go ahead and waste more time doing anything else. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's going to sit right down in there perfectly fine. Guessing before you make comments about the rainbow looms thing on my thumb, my daughter made it for me. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and, now that I have these pegs in here, I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, because what I want to do, I'm going to put a little bit of flux. Let's see if I can get this going on the camera right. I'm going to put, there it is. I'm going to put a little bit of flux here, flux here, flux here, and flux here. And what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of solder on the tip of my soldering iron and just lay it on there for a couple seconds. It's going to liquefy, go through, and it's actually going to seal up these pegs. And once I seal these pegs how I want this port to be, we're going to go in and solder these 5 pins down in the back side. So right now I'm just going to take solder, put a little bit of solder here, take flux up here. I do like to take my Sesamo and kind of hold it across this right here on the back side when I'm doing these first couple pins, because it makes sure that it's going to sit flat on the board. So now I'm going to take this, put a little bit of solder on my soldering iron, and I'm going to bring it in. And so I'm going to just kind of hold it there for a couple seconds. It's going to fill that hole up with solder, go all the way through, and give the connection that we need. And I like to put new solder on each one I'm doing. So that looks good. I'm doing that side. I'm going to do these pegs. One more to go. Just going to be right here. Okay. And you can see, if I can get this to zoom in correctly, you can see there that the pins look pretty flush. You can see on the back side, get a good image going. You can see it's pretty clean solder done. I mean, once we get to the end, we will actually take some 99% or higher alcohol, scrub that off with the toothbrush, get any flux that's left over. But that's why you want to use no clean flux. If you use just your regular rosin flux, you're going to get a lot of nasty gook that kind of just sticks there almost like a gum. So definitely try to use no clean flux when possible. Alright, so now we're just going to solder down these last 5 pins up top, and we'll literally be done with this repair. So I'm going to go clamp this back down into my pan of ice. This is another thing that you can get off Amazon. They are about $70 to get on Amazon. It's kind of a metal vice grips instead of having somebody else at your shop have to hold a board for you while you do something or clamp it down to something. It makes it a lot easier. It's called a pan of ice. So I'm going to go ahead and put flux right here on the back side. Flux is always going to make your solder just contact easier from point to point. I normally use a microscope for this, but I'm going to use a pair of glasses that have a magnification lens on it. So I'm going to do my best. Okay. Let's see. Turn this light on. On my fourth pin now. This should be my last pin right here. A little bit more flux down. I'm going to go over them one more time just to make sure that under a microscope you can really see and make sure that that you got good coverage, that all your pins are completely covered. The glasses I'm wearing right now, they're just a $10 pair of plastic, it'd almost be jewelry repair type glasses, jewelry, like looking at diamonds and such. That's what you would look for. Alright. There's a little bit of solder across two pins here. But this is the kind of stuff that's going to happen, so it's good that it happened on the video. Normally it doesn't happen if I'm under a microscope, but using the naked eye is not as easy with these glasses. Alright. Alright, so what we're gonna do, woo! Alright. Almost done, guys. Okay. Alright. Go pull this board off. See if you can see. We're gonna be able to get that close up that we need. Let me try this. Let's turn the old autofocus off. You can see the pins right there. Alright guys, if you have any questions or anything like that, just ask me down in the comments below. I will be doing a complete tutorial on from the beginning to end, but this is just actually the soldering portion. Thank you very much. Have a good day.